Hey, what's up everyone? In this video we're going to be talking about how to put together the saxophone. So the first thing you want to do is grab your reed and start soaking it. You can do this by either putting it in water or using the spit and saliva in your mouth. Okay, so while the reed is soaking, we're going to start putting together the other parts of the saxophone. The first part we want to grab is the neck of the saxophone. And then we're going to take our cork grease, which is usually in a tube like this, and we're going to put it on all around the cork of the neck. And this is going to allow us to slide the mouthpiece on easily. If the cork on your neck is new, you're going to need to put cork grease on it every time you put together the instrument. But over time, the grease will soak into the cork, and then you'll only need to put it on when it becomes difficult to put the mouthpiece on. So now we're going to take our neck and our mouthpiece and put the mouthpiece on the cork of the neck about 3/4 of the way down. Now when we put it on there, we want to make sure the flat part of the mouthpiece, or the table and the opening, are facing the same direction as the opening at the bottom of the neck. So it should look like this, and the flat part facing the same direction as the bottom of the neck. Cool, so once we've got this put together, we're going to grab our neck strap, throw it on, roughly adjust it to the height we need. Then we're going to grab the body of the saxophone by the bell so that we make sure not to damage any of the keys. Then we attach it to the neck strap and are going to put the neck into the body of the instrument. Now when we put the neck on, we want to make sure that the stem coming up from the body of the saxophone is lined up with the octave mechanism from the neck. Then once we have that lined up properly, we're going to tighten the screw so it doesn't move around. Now we're going to put the reed on the mouthpiece. This is probably one of the most important parts of putting together the saxophone because of how much it impacts how the instrument will play. If it's not put on correctly, it'll make things much more difficult, the instrument not work as well as it can. So when we attach the reed to the mouthpiece, we want to start out by taking the flat part of the reed and matching it to the flat part of the mouthpiece. Then we want to make sure that the tip of the reed and the sides of the reed are lined up with the tip and sides of the mouthpiece. So if the reed is too far off to one side, or too high up, or too low, it's not going to work as well as it can. A good way to check to see if your reed is really lined up well is if you press down the tip of the reed, there should be a crest of black across the top where it touches the tip of the mouthpiece. After this, we're going to hold it in place with our thumb and slide the ligature on, making sure not to damage the tip of the reed. And then tighten the ligature to hold the reed to the mouthpiece. Now when we put on the ligature, we want it to be past the vamp of the reed, or this cut in the reed, and past the beak of the mouthpiece, or the part where it's curving up. So once we've got the reed, ligature, and mouthpiece all together, I'm going to go back and check to make sure that my reed is lined up properly. And if it doesn't look like it's lined up well, I'm going to go in and readjust it a little bit by loosening the ligature and then just moving it around until it's lined up properly. Once we've checked that the reed is lined up correctly, the saxophone is good to go and ready to play.